It's getting harder to make these little videos. Certainly twirling around in a frock seems really silly. This is my £5 frock found from the local town fair. It's silk, so it's a bargain. And my silly arms. But I'm looking at pages 63 to 65 of my thesis, which contain information about some of the really big words that researchers use. So ontology, epistemology, and method or methodology, method and methodology. And it's one of those things when you start a PhD, I think it was the first kind of assignment that my supervisors gave me was go away and understand what these words mean, Joe. And understanding those words is niche. Like, it might be useful to you if you're doing a PhD, but I hope that these videos will be of practical use as well. So I don't hold myself up as somebody from whom you should learn this understanding. There are plenty of YouTube videos out there, but to be succinct and to miss out on all the useful nuanced detail, your ontology is what you believe there is. Your epistemology is how you believe you can know things. And your method is how you're going to go about knowing things. So my ontology was an activism, which places meaning in the in-between. My epistemology was participatory sense-making, which is an epistemology that I found through Handy Jaeger's work and absolutely fell in love with. And then my method was participant observation. So just to tell you a little bit about participatory sense-making, the idea is that my ontology, my what there is an activism, that the meaning is in the in-betweenness. Participatory sense-making says, or is the position that understanding can happen between people. And so in order to access that understanding, you have to be a part of the betweenness. And there's an example that makes sense of it in a tangible way. If you think about walking down the road with somebody, you naturally fall into step with their footfall as you walk with them. And it's a really curious thing, because if you try not to fall into step with them, and even if they also try not to fall into step with you, you both have to work against something in order not to sync up with each other. It's like there's a third force, and the third force is this synchronization between people and between bodies. And so it's that's at the heart of participatory sense making, because it's if you engage in things together, like if you walk together, then you have access to that shared thing that tugs you in the same direction. And so if I'm looking to do that, if I'm looking to know by taking part and sharing with somebody, then it makes sense that my method would be participant observation. And there's lots of sort of very standard methods in research. You could do interviews, you could measure things. Participant observation means you're going to take part and you're going to notice what happens as you take part. So those were my ontology, epistemology, and my method. And they're all worth looking up a bit more about if you're curious about that sort of thing. But if you work with people with profound disabilities, I think you might resonate with participatory sense-making. You might resonate with participatory sense-making because you may have experienced that syncing up between bodies. Obviously, the people that you work with are very unlikely to be people who are walking, but there are multiple ways that our bodies sync up with the bodies around us, and that by doing things with each other, we have an experience of shared meaning that's not necessarily a meaning held in language or framed in words, but it is a felt meaning and an understoodness between people. And I think that's really interesting if you are working with that population, because it shows the value of being with somebody, engaging with, doing with, and finding spaces where you can share meaning together, and meaning that's not necessarily meaning held in words, because the meaning held in words gets a super high ranking. Like, we make out like it's the be all and end all, and actually it is a form of meaning, and there are other forms of meaning, and this is a way of accessing other forms of meaning. So I think it ties in practically there.